UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad absolutely humiliated Colby Covington in his first interview since Colby Covington was absolutely dominated and stopped by Joaquin Buckley at UFC Tampa. And not only does Belal humiliate him, he speaks nothing but facts about the future of Colby Covington's career. And Belal Muhammad over the years has really had a perfect assessment of Colby Covington. We're going to take a look at not only the recent interview, but we're going to take a look at a couple clips. One clip from about 2 years ago, and then we're going to take a look at a couple other clips from Belal Muhammad speaking on Colby Covington over the past year or so. But has 2024 been more harsh to any other fighter than Colby Covington? I mean, think about it. Even if you lump in December 2023, Colby gets an undeserved title shot and absolutely shits the bed, does not fight at all, puts on one of the worst performances in title history, to be quite honest, in title contender history. Then he ducks Ian Machado Gary like his life depends on it. He shits his britches like they're going out of style. Then he is forced by the UFC to fight Joaquin Buckley. He gets absolutely dominated, and then he makes a litany of excuses, which I covered in my video from yesterday, which I'll link down in the description if you care to go check it out. Now, before I get into these clips, if you enjoy these videos, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's jump right into it. First thing we're going to look at, Belal Muhammad on Joe Rogan's podcast, roughly late 2022. This was before Colby even got his undeserved title shot against Leon Edwards. You know, Colby, the three-time failed title challenger, known for losing to Kamaru Usman. Listen to what Belal Muhammad had to say literally years ago. And people laughed at Belal when he said this. Even Joe Rogan's kind of laughing at Belal like, oh, he's just talking crap. Listen to this.
Colby Covington's another one where Dana White, if Usman wasn't here, Colby would be the champion. And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I think Colby sucks. I don't think that he's as good as everybody thinks he is.
You think he sucks?
I think that...
Look, Rogan can't believe it. You think he sucks? You think he sucks? And people were laughing at Belal at this point in time. Like, they couldn't believe it. Belal would have the audacity. I think this is... You know, around the time that he beat Gilbert Burns, it was after 2022 because they go on to talk about Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington, the whole sucker punch at the steakhouse. So this was like late 2022. Belal beat Gilbert Burns in early 2023. So this is even before the Gilbert Burns fight. So people had no belief in Belal Muhammad. This may even been before the Sean Brady fight. Now that was actually, that was in 2022. But listen to the assessment here. So he sucks, and then Belal goes on.
Compared to me, I think I'll be able to walk through him. I think that he's a lesser version of Sean Brady, I think. Because if you're looking at the guys he's fought, he's beaten Woodley coming off of 2 losses. He beat Masvidal coming off of 2 losses. Robbie Lawler coming off of 2 losses. He hasn't fought one of the guys that's in the top 10 right now. He's getting so much credit for losing close fights to Usman. Like, you're a good loser? Is that what people are trying to say to him? I'm like, bro, why does he get all that credit for? Because him and Usman stood toe-to-toe with each other. Neither one of them went for a takedown. Neither one of them tried to shoot at each other. They're just 2 wrestlers kickboxing. So because he made it a close kickboxing match with a wrestler makes him that much of a monster, pound-for-pound guy? I just don't think so.
I agree 100%. I've been saying, literally, you can go look up a video I did in May of 2021, I believe it was. And it's titled something along the lines of Colby Covington and Alexander Gustafsson are the same. And I talk about how Gustafsson got elevated off of losing to John Jones and Colby got elevated off of losing to Kamaru Usman. Meanwhile, having no real quality wins anytime recently. Belal points that out. Oh, you know, he beat Robbie Lawler, 40 years old, losing streak. Beats Tyron Woodley, 40 years old, losing streak. I mean, the Colby hasn't had a decent win since 2018 against a blown-up lightweight in Rafael Dos Anjos. Perfect assessment from Belal Muhammad back in 2022. Then more recently, this was earlier this year, I mean, he absolutely clowns Colby here. Listen to this. It was an interview with MMA Junkie.
And,
so what do you think of Colby Covington? And
he's a joke, right? Like, literally everything he says is a joke. What is he? It's 0-3 in title fights. All I needed was one time to do it. You'll never touch the gold. You'll never be who I am. And just keep talking, bro. Just keep that. You said keep that same energy when I see you, please. I beg you, let me see you. I beg you, let me see you in public. Because, bro, unless he actually fights any of these other guys, he's not gonna get another shot. But I mean, I hope he goes on a good run, beats some of these contenders, and figures a way out to fight me in the cage. But I mean, all you gotta do is find me at a steakhouse, and we'll see if you keep that same energy.
Here's Belal saying you'll never touch gold. You had 3 opportunities, 2 of them grossly undeserved, and you weren't able to capitalize. I needed one. I went out there and dumped Leon Edwards on his bald spot. And also, look at Belal. He's praying that Colby gets some wins against some contenders and earns a title shot because Belal knows it's an easy matchup. Colby Covington isn't even half the fighter that Belal Muhammad is. He's like a Family Dollar version of Belal Muhammad because Belal has amazing pressure, amazing wrestling, but his striking is significantly better in my opinion. His kicks are significantly better in my opinion. His pace is even better. And his wrestling is better. His top control is better, in my opinion, as well. And it's not like Colby has some amazing jiu-jitsu. And it's just hilarious to hear Belal, like, you'll never touch gold. Belal had a fight and scratch his way. Belal, prior to winning the title, had a better career than Colby Covington's entire career. Like, his run, the win streak he went on until he got his title shot against Leon Edwards, Belal, that win streak is better than Colby's entire career. But Colby's riding the coattails of the Kamaru Usman losses, which we're going to hear in a second in his more recent interview. Also, this was a few months ago. This is after he won his title as well. Listen to him clown Colby on this MMA Junkie interview as well.
It's funny, right? Like, he's literally the biggest clown in the UFC. It's embarrassing to see like how he's like trying to grasp for any sort of attention and say anything, right?
I told you guys this. The only reason he talked about Ian Machado Gary is because it was low-hanging fruit. He never wanted that fight. I called it out from the very beginning. 3 stipulations. I got 3 stipulations because he was scared of Gary. And people told me, Joey, you're only saying he's ducking Gary because you don't like his political beliefs. Think about how stupid that sounds. That makes absolutely no sense. All Colby does is try to stay relevant. And now he's finally doing what I've also been saying for years. He's finally trying to transition into that online talking headspace. That's why he's promoting Twitch. That's why he's promoting his YouTube. But Colby only talks to stay relevant. He doesn't actually want to fight anyone unless he thinks he can win, i.e. 40-year-olds on losing streaks. But let's continue.
Catch him outside. Let's see. All right, bro, I wish I see you outside. Let's see what you would do. I've literally called him out since 2017 when I fought in Australia. Like, this guy's a coward. But that's what he does.
That's what he does, exactly. I mean, this is a perfect assessment of Colby, by the way. This is the older interview. We're going to get to the recent one next. Colby only pretends he wants to fight guys that have been calling him out after they already have fights. You know, Hamzat and Dana are saying they want the Hamzat-Colby fight. And as soon as Hamzat moves up to 185, Colby's like, yeah, Hamzat ducked me. As soon as Shavkat's fighting Gary, Shavkat ducked me. I mean, it's just the list goes on and on and on and on. Colby wants credit for being a badass and stepping in for tough fights, but he doesn't actually want to have the option to actually step in. And Belal just assesses Colby perfectly over the years.
He shot away from that Ian Gary fight. He said it wasn't worth his time. Like, if he would have won that fight, his name could have been right back in the mix.
Massive mistake, but honestly, it really wasn't because he would have got smoked by Gary. But imagine had he took that fight and beat Gary, he'd be right in the mix. He'd be 1 win away from a title shot, especially with the UFC giving him undeserved title shots. They might have given one right off of that. But he was scared. He was shitting his britches.
So now he looks dumb. He's a clown. And I don't think, like, I'm wondering what he's going to do next. Like, there's nobody really out there that I see him saying yes to. He's going to wait and hope that Tony Ferguson comes back and fights one more fight. And then he's going to win that fight and say, oh, man, see, I deserve to be in there. Look what I just did to Tony Ferguson.
Yeah,
that's what he was waiting for. He was forced to take the Joaquin Buckley fight when Belal. How funny is it? In a way, Belal ended Colby's career because Colby wasn't going to fight in 2024. Colby was going to sit out, but Belal got injured. He pulled out against Shavkat Rakhmonov. He injured his toe, had a bone infection. And so Gary had to take the Shavkat fight, leaving Buckley without an opponent, and then Colby had to step in. So indirectly, Belal Muhammad kind of ended Colby's career because the Buckley beatdown, I mean, it was a merciless beatdown. 3-0 for Buckley. I thought people were trolling. I genuinely think people believe it now. They were joking. I thought they were trolling, but they're saying, yeah, Colby had him right where he wanted. It was 1-1, body. Colby's making all the excuses that we knew he would. I already covered that in another video. But one more clip we're going to look at from an older interview. And he's asked, do you think Colby can ever earn a title shot? Listen to this. And again, this was months ago.
No, there's 0% chance. Like I said he sucked before the Leon Edwards fight, and he gifted him the title shot. He doesn't have there's nobody in the top 5 that he could beat. There's nobody in there that I could see him and say, oh man, all right, well, he beats him, that there's a chance. Like, I don't see him accepting any top 5 fights, and I definitely don't see him beating any top fighters if he gets that chance.
All facts. And again, this was long before the Buckley fight, okay? This was months ago. This was like in August, which is insane because look at the clips I just showed you. Look at the clip I showed you from years ago on Rogan. Belal's assessment has been perfectly accurate, which is so great because it's perfectly in alignment with my assessment as well that I've been saying for years, that you can check back on my channel and look at my catalog. I've been, the credibility is there, okay? You can see the video evidence of me saying this since 2021 when I started my channel. But anyway, Belal Muhammad did an interview with SiriusXM. I have no idea where to find this entire interview. I don't know. I looked for it, but I guess it's on SiriusXM somewhere. I don't know. Do they have video actually on their app? But anyway, they posted this clip of the Belal Muhammad interview with SiriusXM, and he's asked about Colby Covington's performance against Joaquin Buckley. And again, like Belal Muhammad has done over, the last 5 years, a perfect assessment of Colby Covington. Listen to this.
So I imagine you're probably having a great Monday after what you saw in the main events on Saturday in the UFC. Colby Covington, he's lost before, he's been finished before, but no one has thoroughly beat him up like that ever in a mixed martial arts contest. What was your reaction to his performance and Buckley's TKO?
It felt so good to watch him bleed and just suffer. I was just hoping that the doctor would let it go a little bit more, because now you open the door for Colby to make excuses, right? And he's already coming.
Which we knew he was going to do. That liberal doc, he even blamed the judges, but then he switched up and said, doctor. Colby said he had him right where he wanted him. Chael was telling him it was fight of the night. Delusional excuses. But honestly, I'm kind of happy the doctor stepped in. In a way, I know he gets the excuses, but it's just funnier because we all know he was getting whooped. We all know he wanted out. He did not want to be in there at all.
Excuses, but I'm like, bro, you're literally getting pieced up in every way you can get pieced up. You're losing the grappling, you're losing the striking, you're losing the kickboxing. You even lost the walkout because you ripped your shirt before you.
By the way, if you guys haven't seen this, Belal pointed it out here, but I had seen it, but I hadn't mentioned it. During his lame walkout with the Hulk Hogan, he had pre-ripped his shirt. All he needed was a little rip up here, I would think. And he would have been like, look at this. He taped this together. This is some type of crop top so he could rip it. By the way, this was the deadest walkout I've ever seen. For a guy who claims to be some type of star, which I've been telling you guys for years, he's not a star. Even when he fought Jorge Masvidal, under 400K pay-per-view buys. The arena was dead. There was literally, go back and watch it if you don't believe me. It was literally crickets when Colby walked out. He's walking out with Chael, who's a con man, who's riding the coattails off of coming up short against Anderson Silva. You have the dead body of Hulk Hogan, barely even being able to wave the American flag. Dead walkout, first round, they're chanting, Colby sucks. And they're booing as Colby tries to grapple. Okay? But let's continue.
You even got out there, so you look stupid doing that. But, yeah, I just think that once people realize that he's not what people thought he was, right? They put him on this pedestal of, oh man, he's a cardio king, he's this, he's that. Like these new athletes, these new guys now, where we're seeing stuff. We're like, bro, hey, he's not throwing anything at you that should make you worry, right? He can.
All facts. Literally, all he ever had was cardio and wrestling. And he was only ever able to impose his will against old men on losing streaks who had issues with grapplers. To top it all off, Jorge Masvidal, don't get me wrong, he's not like the worst anti-grappler ever, but had issues with high-level grapplers. You look at Robbie Lawler, similar situation, but also old and, on his way out. It's the same thing. Tyron Woodley. Colby against any of these newer guys is going to get absolutely destroyed. People were hyping him up all because he lost to Kamaru Usman. And it's just hilarious. You see Belal pointed out years ago, and I believe he points it out here as well.
He throws his pity-pat freaking punches, and then he takes his stupid shot, pushes to the fence, and tries to take you down. But, there's better athletes now. There's better guys, smarter guys now that are seeing all this stuff. And then I think now that one person realized that, it's like, wait, this kid really does suck. He doesn't belong in the top 5 in the UFC. I don't think he'll be anybody in the top 10 in the UFC. So I think that now he realized the game's passed him by, and he needs to figure out what's next, right? Maybe he'll have one big fight against somebody, maybe. But there's not a lot left for him.
He doesn't think Colby can beat anyone in the top 10. Absolute facts. I thought he mentioned Kamaru Usman in that as well, but I guess I was confusing that with the first clip. But Colby is not that good. He has nothing threatening on the feet. He has no jiu-jitsu. He doesn't even have good ground and pound. All he can do is out-cardio you. Even Woodley, who was washed up at the time, heading to getting beat up by a YouTuber, I mean, he only finished Woodley because kind of like a freak injury in a way. Okay. And fair enough, he finished him, whatever. But it's like, well, where does Colby threaten anyone? You know what Belal Muhammad would do to him? And in terms of the rankings, look at the rankings right here. He's not beating Leon. We've already seen that. I mean, think about what Belal did to Leon and then what Leon did to Colby. Completely shut him down. You think he's beating Shavkat? Absolutely not. You think he's beating Usman? I mean, maybe if Usman's more washed up than him, he's been sitting out for years at this point and on a 3-fight losing streak, but I doubt it. Jack Della, I mean, he would have a chance, but very unlikely. Sean Brady, he's not beaten. Joaquin Buckley, we just saw. Ian Machado Gary, hell no. And by the way, how great is it now to see Colby sitting at number 9? He shouldn't even be number 9. In my opinion, he should be number 10 or 11. Because, look, he ain't beating Ian Machado Gary. He ain't beating Gilbert Burns. I don't think he's beating Jeff Neal. I think maybe that should be his next fight. Jeff Neal, I think, beats the brakes off him. Jeff Neal has excellent striking and excellent takedown defense. Wonderboy Thompson's probably the only winnable matchup. Outside of that, maybe Michael Venom Page. Because Michael Morales, I think, absolutely whoops him. Carlos Prates absolutely whoops him. Vicente Luque, okay, maybe. Michael Venom Page, okay, maybe. So basically, out of the entire top 15, no one in the top 10 I think Colby can beat. So Belal's 100% accurate on that. Out of the top 15, you're looking at Michael Venom Page, Luque, and Wonderboy. And even those, I don't think any of those are guaranteed matchups. I think Colby will ultimately grovel and beg and use his Dana White privilege to probably get the Wonderboy fight. But if you look at the welterweight division, I don't see anyone that I think Colby Covington can beat. And he talks about a massive weight cut, or he talks about he doesn't cut very much weight. You know, he had a bad weight cut for this fight. He even admitted to it. He could barely talk in an interview with Chael Sonnen. So I don't think he can go down to lightweight. There's some people talking about that, but it was so good to see Belal Muhammad absolutely dunk on Colby Covington, and he's had a perfect assessment over the years. So take that credibility, look at this interview. He's saying, look, Colby isn't that good. Colby can't beat anyone in the top 10. Colby's done. And Colby's in his late 30s, okay? And I'm sure he'll come out with more excuses. If there is, I'll cover him, okay? Since you guys seem to like him so much. But talk about a horrible year for Colby Covington. Ducked Ian Machado Gary, basically lost to Ian Machado Gary, count that as a loss for 2024, is forced to step in against his biggest nightmare, a contender on a winning streak who's actually not 40 years old, gets absolutely destroyed, and now he doesn't know where to go because the division has already passed him by while he's been sitting out pushing political propaganda, allegedly. That's what he's been doing. That's wasted all his time. I don't necessarily believe that. And now, you know, Belal, who's been the butt of jokes for years, gets to laugh at Colby because Colby's career is literally over. He says all these outlandish things and crazy things, and now his career is over because, again, who can he beat? Maybe Wonderboy, maybe MVP. I'm not even sure those are guarantees. I think he would beat MVP because MVP has no takedown defense. But again, you know, maybe he gets Kevin Holland next. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. I definitely know Colby Covington is heading towards that online talking head, right-wing grifter kind of community. Does he get one more fight? Maybe. You know, Belal says he seems to think, oh, maybe he'll get one more big fight. I don't know who that would be. Maybe Dustin Poirier looks at that fight on Saturday and says, you know what, I can beat him. I'll take the fight. I don't think Dustin should because Dustin's an actual name. Colby's not. Colby doesn't draw any pay-per-view buys, especially now, not after losing every single fight in the last few years. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching.